Hey, welcome back. In this module, we'll talk about health insurance and federal taxes. While not a big part of your state exam, this section is important for a number of reasons. Most individuals are not really familiar with taxes as they relate to insurance policies. They're more familiar with tax concerns like mortgage interest deductions, whether they can still deduct their children, and how much income will actually be taxed. As a producer, the general reason you'll need to know tax information, other than for your test, is that your client will depend on you to guide them. In the case of health insurance taxes, it usually occurs when the client has a problem and needs advice. The best advice we can give you as a producer is this. If you're not intimately familiar with tax law, send your client to a tax professional. You might say to your client something like, I'd love to help you with that information that you need, but I only have a basic knowledge of taxation, so I would suggest that you talk to your accountant. Even if you have tax experience and are knowledgeable, be careful and make sure to point the client in the direction of a professional if you're unsure at all. We're going to explore the good and bad sides of taxes as related to health insurance. You'll learn early in the lesson about the one side, not both sides concept of taxation, and how to apply it in a given situation. For some, this is common knowledge, but for others, it's important that we look at the differences between pre-tax and after-tax dollars, as these terms will be used frequently in this part of the course. Since your state exam will potentially include questions about taxes on every policies that you've studied, we'll cover all the policies you've learned. The good thing about health insurance taxes is that the federal government and the IRS have provided favorable tax treatment for just about all types of health and disability policies. We'll talk about disability policies too, including those intended to provide for a continuation of a business, like business buy-sell policies, business overhead expense contracts, and key person coverage. Of course, we'll discuss the taxation involved in medical expense contracts, long-term care, and the rest of the policies you've seen to this point, and how the tax implications may play out for employers, employees, and for those who purchase individual policies. We'll finish this lesson by exploring tax advantage plans like health savings account, HSAs, and health reimbursement accounts or arrangements, other known as HRAs, and finally, flexible spending accounts or FSAs. This information isn't meant to prepare the insurance producer as a tax expert. Instead, the information contained in this module is a guide for educational and familiarization purposes and shouldn't be relied upon as fact. No part of the section is intended as tax or legal advice. Specific questions should be directed to who? Your tax professional or legal professional.